Hello guys, and welcome back to the Wisdom Warhammer channel. And in today's video, I'll be starting a new series called The Masculinity of, and here is what it is about. I will be talking about a male character from the Warhammer universe, and I'll talk about how us men can learn from them. The first man we will talk about is the legendary statesman that was forced to be a warlord and the avenging son, Roboute Guilliman. I will go over what we can learn from the 13th Primarch and who was the inspiration behind this character, and I will go over some tips on how we can become better. Like in my other videos, I do not own the artwork in the video, and all things Warhammer are owned by Games Workshop and Black Library. So, with the intro out of the way, let's get the video started, shall we? I would like to start with an excerpt from the book called The Unremembered Empire by Dan Abnett, and to quote, "A part of him knew he could live out his days on Sotha in utter contentment, barebacked and tanned in the sunlight, careless, mowing the grasses with his scythe, season in and season out. It was just a dream. Such simple pastoral destinies did not lie in store for beings like Roboute Guilliman. Fate held for him a future of duty and responsibility, very different from that which might await an honest agri-worker. No common farmer would play a role in the final battle against Horus." Now, this quote says something about Roboute Guilliman, and I will explain what I think this says about the 13th son. I think Roboute Guilliman grew tired of the role of statesman and wanted to build a system that could run without the aid of him, and this must have been his dream at one point. But let's break it down by going into who Roboute Guilliman is based off of, and his character is based off the Roman emperors, but mostly based off the Roman emperor named Diocletian. Now, his full name is Gaius Aurelius Valerius Diocletianus, and here is a quick summary of his life. He was born in Dalmatia, near the town of Solana, which was now Solon in Croatia. He was born between the years of 242 and 245, and we don't know much about his early childhood until he joined the Roman legion, and he must have served under Aurelian, who became emperor and was named Lucius Dominatus Aurelianus. Diocletian served in Gaul and served well and was promoted to commander of an elite cavalry force. When Diocletian became emperor, he ruled for some time until he retired due to the amount of effort it took to be a Roman emperor, because at this time the empire wasn't in the best place. He did create the Tetrarchy during his rule as emperor, which had two main emperors and two lesser emperors, which took the burden off his shoulders for some time, and he was able to rule the empire more effectively. After his rule, he retired in his palace at his homeland of Dalmatia and focused on growing cabbages and other vegetables, and enjoyed it more than the chaotic politics because it was simple and tranquil. He did this until he died, but that was a basic rundown of the inspiration of Roboute Guilliman. Roboute Guilliman was the Primarch that had the largest empire outside of the Imperium itself, called Ultramar, and it had 500 worlds under the rule of Roboute and his council. Then when he met his legion, he prepared his legion to rule the worlds of Ultramar, amongst other things, because he knew that regular people could only do so much. Guilliman then learned later in his time as a statesman he enjoyed the purpose that he was given, but I think he wanted to do more. I think this change of mind happened close to the end of the heresy. Then, when Guilliman came back to the Imperium after being in stasis, he saw the rotten corpse of the Imperium that he, his brothers, and father created, and was saddened, and realized he had a lot of work to do. Now, when Roboute came back, he made sure to keep the Imperium running the best he could, and here is how it happened. He immediately went to Terra for a few months to restructure the High Lords, and he did that, and he went to Gaul to show off the Primaris and prepare for the Indominus Crusade. When entire war fleets were ready, they began to spread across the galaxy to save Imperial worlds. Then after some time of fighting, Roboute had to go to Ultramar to fight Mortarion and his Death Guard in the Plague Wars. The Avenging Sun used the Tetrarchy system during the Great Crusade, and when he came back to Ultramar, the Tetrarchy system was used again when he came back to take some of the burden off his shoulders. He first did this when he arrived in Ultramar at the beginning of the Plague Wars, and he replaced the normal humans and trained a lot of the new Primaris Marines to take over as leaders that assisted in running of Ultramar. As he learned more of what happened after he was put in stasis, Guilliman may have become even more regretful for what he did after the heresy. One of the things he possibly regretted was breaking up the legions and turning them into chapters, because this made the Imperium possibly weaker from this choice. Now in the future, when more loyalist Primarchs return, he might accept that the legions need to come back, but we shall see. Now you are wondering, why am I doing a presentation on the masculinity of Roboute Guilliman? And here is why. I have noticed that a lot of young men around my age of 23 don't really have a purpose in life, and with this kind of purposelessness, men and teenage boys cling to extremely toxic men. Men like Andrew Tate, Tristan Tate, Fresh and Fit, and other red pill guys have done a lot of damage to young men. Now you may disagree with me, and that is fine. Yes, these guys have good takes, but it is a small percentage of what they preach, like yes, take care of yourself and be financially stable. But the other 99% of their advice is bad, because it convinces young men and boys to be bullies and to be hurtful to everyone under them. I can see that these guys deep down are hurt, and to massage their damaged and fragile egos, they prey on weak and insecure young men and boys. These insecure and young men then listen to this poisonous advice and see this as their purpose to be like these alpha male red pill guys, but in reality that is not what they need. This new purpose they have is to be someone they are not, and from this they do not look at themselves, and from this they delve deeper into sadness and depression. But the thing is that they fear looking into themselves and don't want to find a purpose that is new and true for them, until it is too late and they are a saddened soul drained of life. Throughout history, men have had two purposes thrown on them, which was as a father and provider. Those were created by the patriarchy, and this held and oppressed people back then, but eventually we got to where we are now. We have more human rights, and women are able to work, and the patriarchy was slowly going away, and we have made great progress for the past 100 years. Sadly, with the previous US elections, we have strayed from this progress, because 56% of young men voted for Trump. Now, one of the reasons why these men voted for Trump was because the Manosphere influencers say that Trump will bring back the true purposes and the good old days of the 1950s, and say that Trump is a true man. As a man, I can tell you these men are not really men. They are toxic. These men look down on people who don't look like them and people who don't hold their values. Like I said before, they want to go back to the times where women were subservient to men, like in the 1950s, because they saw this as the true golden age of purpose for men. They saw 1950s men as strong and stoic, but they were emotionally weak and were abusive to their wives and children, both physically, emotionally, and financially. This was the pinnacle of toxic purpose for men, and we're told that this was their purpose, which was pushed on us men by the church and the patriarchy, and is still in our culture today, but it had laid dormant for some time. Then it came in the form of the red pill, and it evolved into the Manosphere, and let's be honest, it has gotten worse over time since it came out in the late 2010s and early 2020. Now, I immediately knew that these guys were weak and losers with money when they came out, and I knew they were selling a dream that was ugly to me. I was a lost young man in the year of 2020 through 2023 until I got back and reading more of the Warhammer lore and studying the characters. I can tell you I have learned more about being a man from the male characters in this fictional dark universe than these loser red pill gurus, and recently Roboute Guilliman is one of them. Roboute Guilliman taught me to have a plan and a purpose in life that I choose for myself, because us men need one. Heck, everyone needs a plan and purpose in life. In the beginning, I mentioned that the 13th Primarch seemed like he wanted to be a farmer on one of the 500 worlds of Ultramar, and he was working toward that goal, it seems. He was a skilled diplomat and a very kind ruler before he was found by his father, and I think he would have been a very good farmer. Now, since 2025 started, I have been thinking about what my purpose and my dream is, and it has been hard, but has been worth it. Because once I looked into myself, my life has been going well and everything has fallen into place, and I am at peace for most part. Now, every time I see young men and teenage boys who show signs of Manosphere and red pill ideology, I sense their pain, and thankfully I'm not the only man. In my personal life, I am in a group of men who want to guide men and young boys away from that toxic red pill and Manosphere ideology. But I will now go into some tips and tricks to help you find your purpose and build your dream, instead of me telling you what your purpose and dream is, because I do not know you, and neither do these red pill guys. Now, the first tip is to sit in a room with a notebook and pen without distraction for 20 to 40 minutes and just write down your goals that you want and where you see yourself in the future. If you can't think of anything or you're just stuck, that is fine. Just sit there and just look at yourself and just let the thoughts go through your mind until you can find some clarity. Then the next step is to create a plan that will help you find the first step to your purpose and your dream. Start small to build with momentum, and then get bigger goals. That means you have to have a schedule, which allows you to get goals done, and if you don't have time for it, then look at your current schedule and cut the wasteful events from your daily tasks. You can optimize your time by completing smaller goals that can help you, but I will be going over my daily schedule and what my purpose and dream is for me, and hopefully this can help guide you a little bit. My purpose that I've chosen for myself and thought of for me is that I want to help out around my community and across the world eventually, and that is through this YouTube channel and through community service. My dream is to have a nice house and a big garden of vegetables and plants that me and my wife tend to every day, and we don't have kids and our house is peacefully quiet. My wife and I can work anywhere and have enough money to help out around the community and have a pretty simple life of just reading books and just being at peace, but also helping out around the community. But I do not have a girlfriend at the moment. Me having a life partner is another goal in the future, but at the moment, my goal is to build up my YouTube channel that explains the lore of Warhammer universe and also helping out men. The second goal at the moment is to be healthy and cut out caffeine and junk food at least once a week. I indulge in it until I don't crave it anymore. A part of this goal of health is to work out every day, either through martial arts and weightlifting, and then doing yoga every day to prevent muscle injuries. So my schedule is Monday through Fridays to do research on a Warhammer topic and work out, and remember to eat a meal during the day and then go to work. And on Friday, I record and upload a video. Now on the weekends, I work on scripts because they can be very long, and the research in the afternoon and night, but in the mornings, I tend to run errands and hang out with family and friends. But that is the purpose and dream that I have thought about hard and have chosen for me, and I have had to think about it for a long time before choosing it. Now, if you're a young man who is lost and is trying to get out of this toxic masculinity, manosphere, and red pill ideology, I suggest you do the things that I suggested because I think it can help you out, because it has helped me. I also just suggest reading more books that you want to read and fill your head with useful knowledge and flush out unnecessary stuff that doesn't help you out. But I want you guys to focus on the now and work your way towards your future dream and purpose, because the present is the most important. because it is happening right now, and time is running out, and it will eventually be gone. I wish you guys good luck on your journey, and I hope you find your true purpose and your dream. Now, we have gotten to the end of the video on the masculinity of Roboute Guilliman. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, hit the like button and share it with someone who would like this content. If you are new and would like to see more, hit the subscribe button and bell notification to be notified for when a new video comes out. Now, I hope you guys have a good day, and I will see you in the next video. This is Wisdom Warhammer, signing off.